Tom Harper didn't buy the boat to flex or chase some midlife crisis. It was a fixer-upper, plain and simply weathered fiberglass relic with scratch sides and grayed-out teak rails that looked older than half the houses on Willow Lane. To Tom, it was a project, something to keep his hands busy and his mind steady. He towed it home one crisp Saturday, easing it onto the gravel strip beside his house, tossing a tarp over it like a blanket. He figured he'd tinker with it over a few months, no rush, no fuss. Slow work suited him fine. Willow Lane, though, didn't do slow. The neighborhood was a machine lawns clipped to perfection, cars gleaming by 7 a.m., trash bins lined up like soldiers. Everything screamed brochure-ready, like the place was auditioning for a lifestyle magazine. Tom's house fit in well enough neat, earthy, with tall grasses and a wind chime that sang softly in the breeze, but it had his stamp, not the HOA's. That never bothered anyone until the boat showed up. Enter Susan Caldwell, the queen of complaints, striding up to Tom's gravel with a latte in one hand and a laminated packet in the other. Mid-50s, wrapped in beige athleisure, her jaw set like she'd been born to nitpick. No hello, just a thrust of papers and a clipped, "Tom, right? We need to discuss the neighborhood's VY Sewell Harmony." Tom, wiping grease off his hands, took the packet without a glance. "Something I can help you with?" Susan's eyes flicked to the tarp-covered boat like it was a rotting carcass. "That," she said, "doesn't align with our community standards. High-value homes require high-value aesthetics." Tom didn't flinch. "It's on my property." Susan's smile was all teeth. "Yes, but it's in a shared VY Sewell space. It affects everyone." The packet wasn't official, just a Comic Sans manifesto of guidelines cooked up by people with too much time. "Is this enforceable?" Tom asked. Susan's brows shot up, like he'd insulted her ancestors. "It's about respect, Tom. Surely you don't want to disrupt that." He handed the papers back. "Boat stays. Thanks for stopping by." Susan's nostrils flared, and she left the packet on the ground. Things got weird fast. Neighbors who used to wave, like Greg across the street, started avoiding eye contact. Kids stopped cutting through Tom's yard. Then came the signs. A whiteboard staked near his property. "All vehicles must be garaged." No signature. It vanished by nightfall. A typed letter appeared in his mailbox, urging him to relocate your vessel to a suitable facility. Tom laughed at vessel but didn't budge. By Thursday, someone had scrawled "Neighborhood Eyesore" in chalk on the road, an arrow pointing to his boat. He hosed it off, more amused than angry, but he knew Petty could turn VY Sias. The real gut punch came when Tom's nephew, Ethan, came home from school, quieter than usual. Over chili and cornbread on the porch, the 13-year-old finally spilled. "Some lady Susan, I think, showed up at school. Said your boat's sending the wrong message about our values. Handed out flyers for a cleanup, like our house is the problem." Ethan's voice was small, his eyes on the floor. Tom's jaw tightened, but he kept his cool. He walked to the boat, stood there under the tarp's shadow, and thought not about fighting, but about balance. About when silence lets people trample you. By dawn, he made up his mind. Before the neighborhood stirred, Tom hitched the boat to his truck and drove to the community clubhouse, Susan's sacred turf for tea socials and bake sale plotting. He parked it dead center in the turnaround between two flagstone planters, locked the wheels, and climbed a ladder. In bold black paint, he wrote, "The HOA Menace." Then he drove home, poured coffee, and waited. The sun rose, and the boat sat like a middle finger in front of Susan's kingdom. No posts, no calls, just Tom sipping his coffee, feeling lighter than he had in weeks. At first, nothing. Just the neighborhood's signature tight-lipped silence. But by noon, ripples started. Greg paced his driveway, phone glued to his ear, glancing at the clubhouse like the boat might bite. An email blasted the neighborhood listserv, urgent, unpermitted vehicle blocking clubhouse. It screamed about unsightly vessels and property value threats, but Tom knew the clubhouse was free all weekend had checked. The accusations were noise, a tantrum dressed as concern. Fake signs popped up. No parking, private property. Crooked, foam board nonsense, misspelled and zip-tied. Tom snapped a photo, texted Ethan. Spelling still matters. Monday brought a city-logoed letter from a subcontracted compliance office, citing a complaint about unapproved marine vehicle parking. Tom called, got a bored voice. "We follow up on documented complaints. You'll hear from us." He wasn't shocked Susan's fingerprints were all over it. Ethan, though, looked spooked, eyeing the street like a tow truck was coming. "It's not about the boat," Tom told him, stirring tea. "It's about control. They hate when something doesn't fit their mold." Ethan nodded, but his worry lingered. The harassment ramped up. A property management notice claimed Tom's lawn was non-compliant for a vegetative inconsistency, the boat on gravel, not grass. He called, got put on hold, then told to submit a dispute in 60 days. He started snapping photos not just of his boat, but of neighbors' cracked bird baths, rusty hoops, plastic flamingos. Hypocrisy was everywhere. A tow truck circled the boat one dawn, but left, confused. Another letter from a community standard alliance warned of CIVYL action in vague legalese. Tom's lawyer laughed. "Amateur bullying. Keep everything." By Friday, the air was thick with tension. Ethan got detention for snapping back at a kid's trailer trash jab. At the grocery store, Tom caught smirks like people thought they'd won. Someone scattered red mulch around the boat's trailer, a passive-aggressive landscaping stunt. Tom raked it into a perfect circle like a throne. A man in a blazer showed up, clipboard in hand, babbling about optics and community cohesion. Tom cut him off. "I'll move it when Susan apologizes for the graffiti, the fake signs, the school stunt, and the mulch." The guy stammered, "I'm not authorized," and Tom shut the door. That night, someone slashed the trailer's tires. Clean, deliberate punctures. Boot prints in the mulch led to the sidewalk, no effort to hide. Tom replaced the tires himself, making them better than before. Another envelope arrived, inviting him to a community standards Add VY Sorry panel at the Clubhouse. He knew it was a trop of public shaming dressed as dialogue. He went anyway, in jeans and work boots, leaning against the boat as 30 neighbors set up folding chairs like it was a circus. Susan, flanked by her cronies, avoided his gaze. A moderator droned about VY Sewell harmony. When Tom's turn came, he didn't shout. "I'm legal. Check twice. Boats registered. Not leaking. Moved every 72 hours. Your cracked fences and busted lights break your own rules. The only difference? My boat challenges your control." He stepped back. Susan's voice dripped with fake grace. "This isn't personal. It's about order. That name the HOA menaces mockery, hostility." Nods rippled, but a woman in the back spoke up. "We're overreacting. My neighbor's hedges are worse. Maybe the boat's not the issue." Susan snapped. "This isn't about hedges," but the crowd's murmur shifted. No vote, no resolution, just people drifting away, some lingering by the boat, reading the name. The next day, someone egged Tom's house. 3 splats, dripping down the siding. He cleaned it without a word, painted the garage darker, not out of shame but to feel whole. Ethan's detention slip burned worse than the eggs. Tom sat him down. "They're not scared of the boat. They're scared of anyone who won't play their game." Ethan asked, "What now?" Tom glanced at new plastic cones by the notice board, another fake. "We wait. They'll overplay their hand." They did. A neon sign duct taped to Tom's mailbox screamed mandatory compliance re-VYEW from a fake Department of Visual Standards. Tom peeled it off, kept it as EVY Denke. Then a real city letter arrived, citing a code re-VYEW for a non-operational vehicle. Tom's lawyer called it nuisance lawfare, but urged documentation. He organized receipts, photos, emails, and scheduled an Inspector VY sit. Meanwhile, Susan's flyers hit doorsteps glossy, with Tom's boat next to a dilapidated trailer, captioned, "Is this our future?" One landed on Tom's truck. He tossed it in a public bin. The inspector, a no-nonsense guy in khakis, checked Tom's papers and shook his hand. "You're clear. Letter's coming." But the next morning, a truckload of gravel blocked Tom's driveway. No note, just obstruction. He called the supplier cash order, no name, his address. Borrowing a wheelbarrow from a neighbor with overgrown hedges, Tom cleared a path, stacking the rest neatly. Susan passed by, dog in tow, and stared. Tom stared back, silent. A blue-bordered letter declared Tom's boat a Level 2 involuntary nonconformity, signed by a Raymond Frickson, director of visual harmony. Tom drafted a response, building his paper trail. Orange barricades appeared around the clubhouse, unpermitted, costing someone real money. Curtains twitched as Tom walked the block. A new camera angled at his street. A blinking sensor gleamed under eaves. Surveillance as intimidation. Then the boat got tagged a fake 72-hour removal sticker with a dead QR code. Tom taped a note. Illegal notice. Report filed. He filed it, with photos and forged letters, at the city clerk's office. The clerk sighed. You're not the first. 2 nights later, a bat smashed his mailbox. Tom saw the SUV peel out, replaced the post with steel, and installed cameras. Within 48 hours, he had footage, 3 men, hooded, one with a bat, dropping a tool bag with a CSAC visitor key card. His lawyer pounced, drafting a cease and desist to the HOA board, attaching EVY Denke. It went by email, mail, courier undeniable. The board's lawyer responded, sidestepping accusations, suggesting mediation. Tom refused. He wasn't compromising with bullies. The city's response to his complaint was curt but real. An investigation into forged signage was active. The neighborhood shifted. Stairs turned to avoidance. Driveway chats shortened. An emergency board meeting was called, signed by a new name, not Susan's. Tom didn't go. He knew the cracks were showing. A polished SUV brought a suit with a clipboard, offering cash to move the boat and sign a gag order. Tom shut the door. You thought this was about the boat. That night, his cameras caught 3 figures circling the boat one with a crowbar. Tom drove up, lights off and on. Keep running. Your faces are saved. They fled, Leah VYing the bag. Police got the footage, and neighbors reported similar harassment. Susan's house went dark, a for sale sign up within days. Barricades vanished. Flyers stopped. The board's new message preached transparency. No one mentioned the boat. Tom left it at the clubhouse a week longer, then towed it home. The HOA menace stayed painted on. The neighborhood exhaled, weary, embarrassed. Susan's house sat empty, blinds drawn. People approached Tom, slowly small talk, a returned wheelbarrow with a note. You were right. Ethan asked about fixing the stern rail. They worked evenings, quiet but steady. The new board's guidelines were voluntary, no threats. A cookout happened casual, unforced. Tom and Ethan went, 8 left. No one asked about the boat. That night, Tom touched the hull, paint chipping near the name. He left it. Let it age. Let it remind. Was Tom a hero for standing his ground? Or did he escalate a petty feud into chaos? Should he have compromised early to spare Ethan the stress? Or was teaching resilience worth the fight? Did Susan deserve to lose her home? Or was she just a product of a control-obsessed culture? Drop your thoughts below, comment, like, subscribe, and tell us. Would you have moved the boat?